Hi, I am your host Steven and welcome you to the Aroundtable. Today I'll be talking about one of my favorite actors of all time who just celebrated last week his 71st birthday, and that is the one and only Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell has been in the business and remained relevant, for over 50 years. So that's a feat. I think he's one of the best actors around. He's underrated no matter how many hits he's had or how many films he's known for. I think he's done about 68 films if I remember correctly. He's underrated. The guy can do action, comedy, drama, you name it, he can do it, and he does it well. Um, you may not like all his films, but you can never flaw his performance. If you look at critics everywhere, even some of his films that are not popular or bombed, they never say his performance is the reason. That's saying something after all these years. So I love this guy. I've been a fan as far back as I can remember. I think my first real notice of him was in a film where he played Elvis Presley, and I think to this day he's the best guy to portray him ever since. I don't think there's anybody who's come close. I think they used them again in 3,000 Miles from Graceland with Kevin Costner, where they played Elvis impersonators, who were going to rob a casino, and for good reason. No one plays Elvis better than Kurt Russell. But that being said, there's so many films that I've enjoyed from him, and I do have a list because the dates, I won't remember them all by heart. So I'll just go random, what I thought in my head, put them down really quick. I'll go with one of the first ones, Tango and Cash. This is, lighthearted action comedy buddy cop film with Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell, who have to do their best to. They're narcotic cops and they have to take down a drug lord, and of course chaos ensues. There's they go to prison, they get framed, you name it. It's kind of cliched in a way. We've seen it before, but these guys playing off each other is really good, and you can see Kurt Russell is actually having the time of his life. He's having a ball with this, and he saves them. In my opinion, he saves them. He's having a ball. He's just Stallone is trying to show he's like not Stallone in this movie. He has the glasses, a suit. He's playing like super genius kind of guy, and it works. It's nice, but Kurt Russell being Kurt Russell, he's kind of like Snake Plissken with the hair, but not with the intense voice. But he's having a ball with it. Next up, I'm gonna have to say Tequila Sunrise, and that's again, it's him, Mel Gibson, and Michelle Pfeiffer. It's a kind of a drama where Gibson and Russell play high school friends or school friends, and one's a cop and one's a drug dealer, and Mel Gibson's trying to do this thing where he's on his last high, or he's gone clean, and Kurt Russell's just not buying it, and Michelle Pfeiffer plays the love interest between these two guys. I thought it's pretty good. It's not the greatest of all time, but solid performances all the way around. Next up, another one. It's Stargate. Um, it started a TV franchise, but Kurt Russell started the film. He was the first film, the only film. Again, not the greatest film. It's not executed perfectly. It's kind of hokey. But Russell again saves the day, in my opinion, and brings it up to a watchable film. But again, I think the TV series were much better than this film. But kudos to this film that started it all, right? And Kurt Russell was the guy. Next up that I liked a lot was, I think, 1996. Yeah, 1996. Executive Decision, where there's hijackers on a plane and Kurt Russell has to go stop them. Funny thing is, Steven Seagal was in the movie and he dies within the first 5 minutes. And I remember people in the theater just cheering when he died. It's a good action thriller. It's they're stuck on a plane and they gotta solve the problem. So kind of like Die Hard on a plane. Think of it that way. Who was in it? Kurt Russell, Halle Berry, John. What's his name? Leguizamo. I can't pronounce his name. Sorry. And of course Seagal who dies, which was pretty funny. Next on my list, I would have to say 1986, Big Trouble in Little China. This is with John Carpenter, who worked numerous times with Russell, and these guys are like, I guess you would call them the Keith Richards and Mick Jagger of the film world. These guys, when they're together, it's always something pretty enjoyable. This one, Kurt Russell plays a truck driver called Jack Burton who gets caught up in this weird fight of this mystical conflict in Chinatown. Very different. Anybody says The Matrix was really the film that brought kung fu into U.S. cinema. 1986, Big Trouble in Little China kind of did it first, I think. Maybe not executed as well, but it's different. It's and Kurt Russell is kind of winking at the audience, going, I'm supposed to be the hero, but I am no way the hero. And he knows this. And that's the fun part of it. You're just not getting. He's thinking he's saving the day, and it's not him. It's everybody else around him who's actually saving the day. He's a fool. But it's hilarious to see that he's thinking he's really pulling this off. That's the fun part of this movie. Next up would have to be Breakdown, which I think came in 1997, where Kurt Russell, it's an action drama kind of thing, where Kurt Russell and his wife go off on a trip and their car breaks down, and this truck driver kind of takes the wife, says, I'll bring her to town while you try to fix your car, or whatever you have to do. And actually he loses his wife and he has to track her down, and it gets very intense. I liked it. It's kind of like Die Hard on the road. He plays the everyday guy who's got to step up and be the hero, and I thought that was pretty good. Another John Carpenter helmed film with Kurt Russell is 1982's The Thing, where they're in the Antarctic and there's an alien that can basically change itself to incorporate to the person that it kills. And so it's scary that this thing can be anybody, but the fact that they can't leave this, they're in Antarctic, they can't just walk out and run. It's there's kind of like a claustrophobic feeling to it. I know in the theater I was like, I couldn't breathe. I had my hands up like this, and it was a nail biter at the time. Really good movie, good horror movie, and pretty interesting special effects for the time. I know I was scared and scared half the time, but I kept going, wow, those are great effects. Just didn't know how to take that film. No, I do know how to take that film. It was good. It was my first horror movie per se, so I was not prepared for that claustrophobic feeling of they can't leave. They can't just run outside. They're stuck, So that was the cool part of it. Next up is 81's another John Carpenter helm film, Escape from New York, which I think, solidified Kurt Russell as a action hero, where he plays Snake Plissken, and it's this so-called future where New York has become a maximum security prison. The President of the United States planes crashes in it, and they take him hostage. So it's up to Kurt Russell, or Snake Plissken, to go save the president, but he's got like a bomb on him, and he's got like 24 hours to do it, or he's gonna die. They're gonna blow off his head, So it's really interesting. The sequel didn't do well and didn't live up to the hype, and unfortunately, I think that killed that franchise. That would have been a great franchise, I think, for Kurt, if the second one would have been good. Hopefully, they reboot it. I think if they get the guys from John Wick to do it, that would be something else. Putting it out there. Next up, I would have to say odd choice is Bone Tomahawk, which came out in 2015, where Russell plays a sheriff in a town whose townfolk are getting kidnapped. You think it's Indians at first, but they are Indians, but they're cannibals, and it's really violent. I mean, uber violent. They tear people literally down. They take an axe and cut them down the middle. It's not for the faint of heart. It's Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, and Richard Jenkins, and Matthew Fox in it. Matthew Fox from the island where they all think they're not dead, but they are dead. I forgot now. You know what I mean? J.J. Abrams produced it. They're on the island. Everybody thinks they're alive, but actually they're dead, right? All these years, all those seasons. Like I said, not for the faint of heart, and be prepared. Don't eat before you watch this movie. I'm telling you now. Silkwood, which is Kurt Russell's first foray, I guess, as a leading man, a romantic lead to Meryl Streep. I mean, that film is basically known as Cher's big movie coming out in a real dramatic role, but it's Kurt Russell's first dramatic role and first leading man role, and I think he did phenomenal in it. I mean, he held his own against Meryl Streep. That says volumes there. What else is there Tombstone, of course, we got to go with Tombstone, where Kurt Russell plays, of course, Wyatt Earp, and he's trying to, be retired and be a retired man on this town, but this gang comes in, and he has to step up and go back to the old ways of gunslinging, and he brings his brothers, and of course Val Kilmer was highly noticed for that film for Doc Holliday. Great fight at the OK Corral, great, better than Kevin Costner's version at the time. Tombstone is one of my favorite films. Who else is in there? Michael Biehn is in there. He's good in it too. Val Kilmer, but of course, Kurt Russell's really good. He plays, how he's trying to play that weathered guy that just wants to wind down, and suddenly he's got to fight to live. And that intensity that he brings to the screen is really hypnotic, and it's really good. Next one up, another fan favorite, or my favorite, is Backdraft. Came out in 91, directed by Ron Howard, and it was Kurt Russell, William Baldwin, Robert De Niro, Donald Sutherland, all-star cast. There was about an arsonist, and they gotta try to find him, and at the same time they show the hardships of being a firefighter. So you see like Kurt Russell living on a boat, it's straining his marriage. It's there's a lot going on in that movie, and it's a great movie, and it shows the difficulty of being a firefighter, not just fighting the fire, but having to balance your home life with it, and how to not take it home, and sometimes you fail at it. What else? I have movies here. What else did I have? Backdraft, Stargate, Executive. I mentioned them all, so I had a few of them here on Blu-ray. I don't have them all on Blu-ray. I have some on DVD. I just want to take them all out, but I do have a few here. What else? Unlawful Entry. That's the one I keep forgetting. That's with Kurt Russell, Ray Liotta, Madeline Stowe. A nice action drama where this cop, Ray Liotta, kind of falls in love with Kurt Russell's wife, Madeline Stowe, and kind of has boundary issues, and Kurt Russell's got to step up and save his wife from this kind of deranged cop played by Ray Liotta. And good cast. I think if they didn't do well in their parts, this movie could have been laughed at, because the cop kind of stalking her was a little weird at the time, but they did such a good job, became believable, and a nail-biting kind of drama. So 1992's Unlawful Entry is another one up there for me. And I think that's it for me for Kurt Russell. So there's more, I'm sure, that'll pop up in my head, because I like this guy so much. I mean, he did the voice of Fox and the Hound, the Disney movie, and I liked him in that. He goes, "I'm a hound dog." Really funny. He, like I said, people like him in Captain Ron and Swing Shift, with Goldie Hawn, his wife or girlfriend for how many years now. Like I said, this guy is one of the best in the business for a reason. Like I said, he can do action, comedy, drama, slapstick. He can do everything. And I think that's, he's just a talented guy, and I think he deserves a lot more credit than he gets. I mean, he's around, but, he's not put in the same, like, if you mention Stallone or, De Niro, there's a weight. He has that. I think he's really good, and I think he deserves a lot more recognition. So to Kurt Russell, thank you for all those movies, all these years. You made me a happy guy. And happy 71st birthday. I hope you're around for another, if you're healthy and happy, another 71 years, and give us some more movies, and I'm hearing rumblings of another Snake Plissken movie. Hey, 71? If Harrison Ford can do it at 80, why not you? With that being said, those are some of my favorite movies from the one and only Kurt Russell. You know what? Sorry, honorable mention to Death Proof, where he plays a stuntman who kills women in his Death Proof car. Slasher film. You know what? That's not bad either. They're all popping in my head as I keep going, and more pop up there. Other than that, thank you for your time. Let me know what your favorite Kurt Russell film is, and I'd love to hear from you. So this is Steven from the Aroundtable telling you, hit the like button, subscribe, let us know how you feel. Tell me what you think of Kurt Russell. Was I wrong? Was I off the mark on this one? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Live the dream. Watch a good movie. Watch a good Kurt Russell movie this weekend, all right? Take care, guys.